Hello, I'm Gareth. I'm a simulation technician from Maudsley Simulation.
Hi everyone, I'm Kiran. I'm also a sim tech at Maudsley as well.
Maudsley Simulation is the universe's first centre for mental health simulation. We're based in South London.
Yeah, we've been going for about, I think, 4 years now. We've developed about 15 programs, coming up to 60. And I guess we're different from you guys because we use actors much more than we use mannequins. Probably use actors in about 90% of courses. And occasionally mannequins when we're doing sort of a medical emergency in a psychiatric setting. This is one of our actors here, that's how we use in a lot of our sort of courses. And to gain the sort of highest possible level of fidelity, I guess, we sort of value that a lot. We have a 2-day course where we train up our actors. We co-deliver the course with the acting company that we use. So yeah, we're trying to get the highest possible level of fidelity. This is some of the elements of the actual 2-day course.
So we have service user involvement on that course to help train the actors as well.
Experience getting to be a patient, getting to be in scenarios, to get feedback in their performances. So yeah, that's just giving you some background about how we use actors and how important they are and how much we value them. So in terms of sort of AV setup, we've got our 2 kind of standard cameras per space. We're using SMOTs and go-to AV software. And in this particular scenario, patients being transferred from the police, they've been picked up in the street and they're going into a mental health suite to wait to be assessed. So you can see sort of police officers there in shot. Got the participants just standing here, and the actor sort of on the floor, sort of on his mattress, quite agitated, a little bit sort of drunk, queasy drunk, mental health issue. So yeah, a pretty standard setup, but we noticed there's something kind of missing here.
So we thought it would be useful to have the actual patient perspective. That's kind of the angle that's kind of missing.
Yeah.
And with our sort of fixed SMOTs cameras, we couldn't really
see what it's like for them on the floor, and police officers sort of looming over them. And, quite a lot of people in the room, and how it feels really from their point of view. So that was our sort of thinking when we're thinking about patient viewing. So when we're sort of thinking about it, we're thinking it actually would help to aid in the emotional connection, first and foremost, the patient and the scenario, being able to see exactly what's going on from their point of view, and also in the learning process, hopefully as well, and the learning objectives, being able to sort of empathise with the patient and a more sort of patient care approach as well. So thinking behind that. So how we actually did it.
So what happened was we were experimenting with a program called Wirecast, which we sort of we were looking for we were actually looking for a solution for in situ work with using more than one camera, because at the moment we've got we don't have like a SMOTs in a box or anything like that. We've got like an old DSLR camera that we just plug into a laptop. And it's wired, but it's only one camera. So we wanted to find a way of having more than one camera.
Yeah, and especially since we're going into bigger environments, as we're sort of increasing in scales and going into GPs and hotels and all sorts of different environments. So we kind of need more than one camera angle now. We're going to struggle with just the one.
So we found this software called Wirecast, which you can stream multiple streams into it.
Yeah, it basically works a bit like a video switcher. You've got your streams going into Wirecast, and you can switch between them. You can overlay graphics on the streams. You can bring in audio and video files. So it all sort of basically like a little production software on a laptop, basically.
And you can also, we found that there's an app on the App Store, a free app called Wirecast Cam, and you can turn your phone into a camera, basically. So
and in terms of this sort of setup, obviously this is our SMOTs, an AV encoder box, which you'll have if you've got SMOTs. And the HDMI input for sort of the vital sign, basically just plugged in our laptop straight into it. And you can see this is not quite a patient view, this is a patient sort of perspective when we've got it mounted on the windowsill. You can see that's adding a lot more visually to the participants when they're watching the video with them.
So in terms of cost, it didn't cost us anything because it was an old my old iPhone 5, which was just lying around in a drawer at home. Well, actually, the hat did cost us some money. So, we had two attempts at the hat. The original hat was underneath this scarf. There was a beanie hat, and it didn't really. That's it. It was like because it was holding the shape of the iPhone too much. It was too obvious. So that's why the scarf was wrapped around there. But then we got one of these trapper hats. I think that's the correct term for that hat from Amazon. That cost us about 15 quid. Although other hats are available. But yeah, so it just slots the phone in here, and you never know it was there. It's amazing. So the phone just streams. Do you want to show the diagram?
Yeah, so in terms of actually how it works.
Yeah, there we go.
The phone here, we've got the Wirecast Cam app open on the phone, talking to the router, talking to Wirecast, going into SMOTs, and then picking up as a third stream basically. So it's a really cheap way to.
Oops, wait. Is it going back on?
No.
So yeah, rather than sort of buying it on SMOTs camera.
Could you log into the room next door?
I'll go.
Only in the tech.
Maybe we can pass the hat around, inspect the hat. Try it on, get a feel for it.
Convenient recess for a second.
Breaks the week, was it?
So the hat cost us £15, the phone was free. Well, it was not free originally, but it was playground control.
Yeah.
The software itself, the Wirecast software, it's free to download as a demo.
Yeah, the demo watermark version.
Yeah.
And then obviously the cost of the software is around £1,000, I think.
So you had it connected to the internal network, did you create your own?
Yeah, we created our own with an Apple router.
Okay. And that was strong enough to carry the audio and visual?
Yeah.
So obviously we were using the SMOTs audio, so we're not using audio.
Okay.
And it's all the same with the SMOTs cameras.
Yeah. There you are.
Great.
Cameras, just one.
It's into the slots. You can we only the vital signs.
From Wirecast though.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Wirecast can
It can handle a limited number of cameras.
yeah. And the main purpose of Wirecast is to stream into YouTube or like Facebook. So we're not really using it like that yet, but.
I'm interested to see that diagram we had up.
Yeah.
So in theory, using Wirecast, you could have each person having their perspective fed in it as
Yeah, everyone can have potentially. Everyone could be wearing a tracker hat. It might be. I'm not quite sure what's enough. A gang of lumberjacks.
I can imagine on some applications looking at section and half others. The GPUs are every scenario. Yeah. Right, okay. That's great. Start again.
From there, yeah.
Thank you. Just had a note.
So yeah, that's how it works. So the cameras in his house. One of the things you have to make sure about is positioning in your hat. Make sure we've had and having the time before the scenario starts to set up and make sure that the camera's in the right area. If it moves slightly on his head, then you're
Use your stream.
yeah.
Does that happen sometimes if your patient is getting particularly animated that he might suddenly turn and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened, I think, once or twice where he's been particularly agitated. It's
I've
not quite.
put some sticky Velcro fasteners on there on the phone to stop it slipping around so much. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think why we did it. Cheap way of doing patient view. Because you're on my phone. So
Yeah.
it's-
You don't have to use Wi-Fi stuff.
Yeah, and then streaming software is available.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, we thought we'd show you some video, the patient view in action, so you can see how it looks, if this works.
So this was just attached to the window.
Yeah, we use this as a window selection.
This is spliced with the more the regular smarts.
How do you feel about this coming? If you can sit down and I'm tired, I don't want to go. So that's my room, I don't want to sleep. That's what we want to discuss. Yeah. If you sit down on the mattress, we come. This is very. This one, if she takes some of the duration. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's collision review, just like complete all your options to try to look at the
Anyone spot a phone in there?
Yeah. Our concept. I don't want to see Chris. I don't care about Chris. You can talk to him and let him know that.
So yeah, it works quite well where it's sort of low level action, and SWOTs isn't going to quite capture what's going on and their interactions and sort of nuances of that. This is a more agitated patient now.
So this is actually in the hat.
Yes.
No, I feel safe. I feel safe. I'm safe. I feel safe. I can go downstairs now if I want you to have a cigarette. You give me a cigarette, I can go down there now. Just you and me. We'll go down really quickly. We'll go downstairs, me and you, yeah? We'll go down. You can watch me. Bring one of these, man. Bring that man there. Bring that woman there, yeah? Bring that man there. Bring that man there. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Bring them. Bring them. You can come downstairs with me. Do you smoke? 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 Do you smoke?
Yeah, so much more agitated than that, looking around a lot more. And, can be quite sort of uncomfortable, I guess, to watch. Might be one of the limitations really, but it's 3 different streams going on, particularly when it's quite shaky and
Yeah.
moving around as well.
So when we first started using it, we were using it specifically for this course, this police and ambulance course that we do, where we have paramedics and police
Working together.
trained on the same course. It was really, we were just thinking about like the way the body language of the police when they arrive at a scene. We really wanted to capture that with this, because see.
Yeah.
Let's meet patient. What is he coming in here? We'll go. Oh, yes, okay, Teresa wants to be yeah. Oh, hi there.
We can see the corridor for the first time.
Get my mom now, because she's gonna get in trouble.
obviously,
Let's say you have patient connecting with that, so we have this kind of
or we might have to work away from that. Yeah, can you guys not get it?
I can with the police officer now, and no one told them to do something. It's very
And actually, I've got quite a few, I don't think it's happened.
So yeah, just in terms of getting the state of mind of the patient, I think it's a really good sort of illustration. And in terms of evaluation, for the police and ambulance more specifically, we've modified the evaluation form to sort of get some feedback, both qualitative and quantitative. So yeah, a couple of sort of screenshots there, being able to sort of see body language a bit more closely from the patient's perspective.
Yeah, I think it made quite a lot of difference to the police, because the sort of the stance that they would adopt when they were coming off the scene would be like
And I think also seeing
intimidating, particularly for the patients.
yeah, and also seeing their colleagues interact more closely as well, and facial expression, even the way they're talking to the patient, you kind of see it a bit more closer. I think. So yeah, feedback was largely positive, and we picked up some sort of qualitative themes as well from the feedback. Again, talking about perspective and empathy and reflection as well. So yeah, limitations, there are a few. Particularly the camera being shaky, as you would have experienced. It requires quite a lot of setup time as well. I think usually about 20 minutes when you're making up the scenario for the next one. It's kind of quite a lot of time.
Yeah, you have to sort of factor that in, make sure you've got your stream hooked up properly, and it does. There are glitches sometimes.
Yeah. And of course, yeah, the hat might not be appropriate for a scenario as well. So.
There are some situations where a trapper hat is not.
So yeah, conclusions. Potentially, there's a lot of sort of scope, a lot of potential to use it in other courses as well. And it can hopefully time with the learning objectives as well. So I think it's kind of early stages at the moment, but we're hoping to use it a lot more and get a lot more feedback from it. And try obviously different cameras as well, more discreet sort of spy cameras.
And different hats.
Different hats as well, definitely. Any questions? Yes.
Do you think in terms of, say, obviously as you've said, you can't have a trapper hat in every scenario, in terms of less obtrusive methods, would something like, say, Google Glass or HoloLens or something like that, where everybody's wearing, like, lots of people wear glasses, it might not be as jarring when you're watching a video to just have everybody wearing glasses.
Potentially.
It's just cost.
Yeah.
I've had it fixed to a shirt before. That wasn't too bad, but we didn't have a harness. I just gaffer taped it to a shirt.
I really think that the trapper hat felt like a workaround for someone who's had experiences in mental health. People do sometimes fall out attachments to particular items of clothing or things like that. They might not seem whether appropriate situation, appropriate. They didn't seem quite. I mean, your acting is just extraordinary. And that use where you've used something so simple adds a dimension of humanising the situation, where you guys are doing things, you know that there are moments within that because things taking out something as simple as somebody's posture can stop something escalating into something more.
I think that's a really important point about the actor as well, because they are so good and such a high fidelity sort of presentation. You find that participants always engage in a way that's sort of real, and they're not distracted by the hat or the other cameras, because it just feels real for them because of the environment, the fidelity, and the active fidelity.
Getting to see from his perspective as well. I mean, it was quite nice that first setup we had where it was on the window so we could see his facial expression. You can catch that in the wider shots from there. But then you're starting to not see this as somebody who's aggressive and unreasonable. You're looking, you're seeing all these people with clipboards whispering.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is.
Gives
thinking. That's funny.
And it was great to hear sort of police officers talking about that side of it as well. Sort of debriefs, actually, I feel more for the patient. I feel actually I need to be more wary of that.
One observation about your shaky camera. Have you tried a wide-angle lens adapter on the iPhone?
No.
Because the wider field of view will smooth out the camera actions. And so when he turns his head, you'll be seeing more of it anyway, so you're only turning that. instead of turning that.
Yeah.
And you can pick them up on Amazon for less than £10. And some of them are magnetic, some of them have little clips, and some of them just have a sticky pad that sticks them to over the lens.
You might be able to convince our
Yeah.
director to take it.
Oh, that's great.
Tried it.
You can also think about how to stitch it actually into a wig
Yeah.
rather than into a hat.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can actually stitch it into the front of a wig, make it comfortable to wear,
Yeah.
but you can actually put it onto a wig.
Yeah.
And thinking about trauma training, trying to teach people what the patient sees when they're secured to a spine board and things like that. So you've got patient perspective from that. You've got it onto a wig and then feedback what the patient's actually seeing and hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then costume too.
Any other questions? As usual, really well done, guys. You do a lot on a small budget, and that's what it's for me. Well, thank you very much, and I think we're done.